What's up, you all? Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be talking about ticker symbol HCMC, Healthier Choices Management Corp. This is one of our favorite stock and that we have been reviewing pretty closely. This is a micro cap stock trading on OTC market. We'll review the latest updates about HCMC, how the stock has been trading. There is a huge short volume, short interest that I want to also talk to you about. There could be a potential short squeeze in HCMC given that it's a lot more popular stock, and it is getting a lot of traction lately, especially over the weekend. So I want to bring it to your attention. Many of us holding HCMC pretty strong, including myself. I've been holding quite a significant amount of HCMC, and this short squeeze can double or triple the price in HCMC in a short term. Once again, I do not know. I'm just speculating based on the data that I see. The second thing, we'll talk about a tweet that has been getting a lot of traction from Philip Morris, that they tweeted about how their IQOS product works. It is getting a lot more traction. People are reviewing and people are giving their opinion. So we'll review that as well. The third thing is we'll review about the valuation of HCMC, what it means in terms of the stock price. If the stock price wants to go to $1, there are two potential options. One is the reverse split and the second one is buyback. Buyback does seem like more and more lucrative option for HCMC as soon as they have more, as soon as they start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. So we'll review that. We'll also review the insider holding in HCMC as well. In addition to that, I also want to review some of the KPIs at a very high level and talk about where the HCMC price can go from this level. Considering myself, I'm losing 50% at the moment in HCMC stock price, more or less, but I'm not worried. I'm holding strong and I want to share what I think in terms of HCMC price, and I'm not a financial advisor. So you do your own due diligence. This is an OTC market stock. It can go either way. It has a very, very small market cap of $355 million. The stock was traded pretty low from this point as well. So we have seen the way the stock was traded. So it can go either way. It is highly speculative stock as well. As you can see, the stock was trading a very, very low at this level before the lawsuit and before the traction and whatever we heard for HCMC. Since then, the stock started spiking up, as you can see, all the way up to 0.0049 or 0.0064 that I am not able to see on this chart. But since then, the stock has been declining. There's a huge sell-off. The market was also red, so I'm not just saying HCMC was down, but the stock has got a lot more traction. As you can see, the volume is also down. If you think about HCMC in general, their volume is close to 4.4 billion, I believe. So right here, their volume was 4.41 billion in last trading session. We have seen huge volume, more than 4.4 billion. So if the volume goes up, the stock can get more and more traction. It can go in upward direction, in my honest opinion. Now consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Click on the like button if you haven't already as well. It takes me a while to do the research, share this information, post this video, and upload this video and share this information with you. So your like is very much appreciated. Now let's take a look at one of the big thing about the short volume ratio. As you can see, the short volume ratio is 761%, and this is the latest market data as of March 22nd, 2021. So the last closing day, the short volume was 906 million. Close to 1 billion stocks were traded short. So this is a pretty huge short volume. Now, I do not have a premium membership on Fintel, but I just wanted to share this is a pretty huge short volume ratio. Now, if you think about it in general, the short volume ratio, you can take a look right here. On 19th, the short volume was 2.1 billion. Right now, we are close to 1 billion, but you also want to consider that the overall volume is lower. So in general, the short volume doesn't really look like a huge short volume in terms of the number of stocks compared to what we have seen previously mid-January. However, it does seem a significant short volume ratio in terms of percentage, and that makes me think that there could be a short squeeze. We will have to see how this works out. But if you take a look at the frequency right here, there is a huge spike right here in terms of how it is being traded. So short volume ratio is practically total number of short shares traded divided by the total number of shares traded each day. So if the volume is lower, definitely the short volume ratio will spike up, but it spiked up to a very significant level because 4 billion volume, as you have seen, is not a small volume either. Definitely it's not a huge volume, but it's not a small volume anyway. Now once again, looking at the insider holding, in general, it does seem that their CEO has 12 billion. They're holding 12 billion shares at the moment, and it is a pretty significant number in general. And also there is one more person, Sandy Christopher, is owning the similar stocks, as you can see right here. So that all makes me think that the company's insiders believe in the company more than anyone else, and they're holding strong on the stocks as well. Now looking at once again into what the Philip Morris has said, they tweeted this. They tweeted that burning starts at roughly 400 degrees Celsius, but nicotine is released long before temperatures rise at roughly 247 degrees Celsius. Now this is the process as to how the IQOS product works, what HCMC is saying, and I'm not a scientist, I'm not an expert in the area, but what they're trying to say is that is why the smoke-free product avoids combustion, fire, ashes, and smoke. So what Philip Morris is trying to say is practically what HCMC is after is not really the case that IQOS is using. That is not the process that IQOS is using. What they're trying to say is if the nicotine starts release right before the burning practically at 400 degrees Celsius does not really involve the way HCMC is trying to patent this particular product and infringement of patent that they are suing Philip Morris for. Now, one of the Twitter user that we have been following as well, Julian Sanders, he's trying to say that I don't want to say that the lie. I'm just trying to say what this user is saying. Philip Morris lies. Combustion happened pending the environment. Two scientists have found CO2 and H. So practically, the way it happens is CO2 is carbon dioxide and H is hydrogen. The way it works is both these two gases cannot exist without O2. O2 is oxygen, and if the O2 gets involved, that becomes combustion. So once again, I want to say what they are trying to say is combustion happened pending the environment. Scientists have found two gases, carbon dioxide and hydrogen. Those two gases cannot exist without oxygen, O2, and that becomes a process of combustion. Does not matter if it's a tiny amount, does not matter it's a large amount, as long as it is present, it is an infringement, and that's what the user is trying to say right here. You told the world zero combustion, which is not the case. That's what they're telling Philip Morris. HCMC is a partial combustion and HCMC is coming for you. So this is practically the response to what Philip Morris just mentioned here. This user has been, Julian Saunders has been tweeting pretty consistently about HCMC lawsuit, about doing his own research, so on and so forth. So this practically creates a case against what Philip Morris is trying to defend themselves for. And this does seem like pretty silver lining in the cloud for HCMC, that down the line, we don't know when, maybe it's a matter of a few months, maybe it's a matter of a couple of years, we don't know when, but there is a good potential for HCMC to get something out of this lawsuit of patent infringement. In addition to that, we definitely want to talk about the valuation. As I mentioned, HCMC's valuation market cap is 355 million. So let's say it's a 350 million at the moment. What Julian is trying to say is, do you know what could cost HCMC to buy back of its bloated shares structure? Only 80 million US dollars. Now this tweet was in January, so this is a bit dated tweet. As you can see, January 30th, when HCMC was not trading at the level that it is trading at the moment. So more or less the point here is that it's a pretty small number for HCMC to buy back their stocks, even in today's market price of 0.0012. Let's say if HCMC wants to buy 50% of its stock, it costs them close to 175 million US dollars. Now, what this person is saying, this user is saying, do you know the amount of that they are looking at when they win this lawsuit? 1.5 billion. And this does not really seem like undoable. This does seem like a possible number. It could be $1 billion, maybe be more than $1 billion, and I'll tell you why. Because the IQOS has spent more than $3 billion into the product that they are offering. IQOS has a huge user base, so they cannot really afford to take the product back out of the market because the product is doing pretty well for Philip Morris. Now 80 million, so let's go with this number and say instead of 80 million, it's 170 million. Now if they have the lawsuit lump sum settlement or some sort of settlement or royalty of whatever that they come up with close to $1 billion, they can certainly buy back the stocks of 150 million, 200 million, 300 million, whatever they decide to do. Even the way the reference is, even the 9 years old with the C grade in mathematics can find out what is going to happen here. Focus people. And this does seem like a pretty logical argument as to what this Twitter user is saying. I'm merely sharing this information for your awareness, for your research if you want to do further on your own. Now, why this is super important and why $1.5 billion looks like a pretty good price point or the settlement price point, let's take a look. Now, what they say, HCMC's lawsuit includes the claim that Philip Morris is infringing HCMC's patent rights in connection with IQOS. Now, IQOS is the system or the product that Philip Morris is selling, which is where the whole problem arises. And HCMC is after Philip Morris, an alternative to tobacco product marketed and sold by Philip Morris. Philip Morris claims that it is currently approaching 14 million users of IQOS. It's not a small number. 14 million users across the globe is a pretty huge number. So for this product, the Philip Morris cannot afford to take that product back because it is gaining a lot more traction into the market. So 14 million users for IQOS product and has reportedly invested over $3 billion in their smokeless tobacco product. So this is one of the pretty big segment of Philip Morris that they're trying to invest, they're trying to expand, they're trying to grow. We all know that smokeless tobacco products are the future of the real cigarettes and the tobacco the way it is consumed today. It is better. In general, these products are not good for health anyway, but this is a better version compared to better and worse. Now, looking at Philip Morris has been very open about their trying to ongoing transition from the traditional fully combustible cigarettes to their modified risk tobacco products, including IQOS. So they're spending a lot more effort, time, energy, and money in this product. Philip Morris's IQOS product is currently subject of 2 other patent infringement proceeding filed by R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company. One proceeding is before the International Trade Commission and seeks to stop importation of IQOS product into the United States, and other is the patent infringement action currently pending by Eastern District of Virginia. R.J. Reynolds patents are unrelated and they're not affiliated with the patent asserted in the HCMC case. Now, so with this product, Philip Morris has infringing a couple of more other patents as well. So they will have to somehow figure these things out if they want to continue with IQOS product. And it does seem like they have a pretty big user base, 14 million users, more than $3 billion invested. The company's overall market cap is significantly high, but $3 billion is not a small sum. So the company will have to come up with what they want to do in future and how they can resolve this lawsuit. Now, once again, let's take a look at the chart, and I want to show you really quickly how for one last month the stock has been trading. If you take a look, and let me go to the bars and we will be candles, and we will be able to see how the stock has been trading. As you can see right here, their volume was $4.1 billion on their volume was 4.1 billion shares on 25th. On 26th, their volume was 3.34 or 4.4 billion, close to, after the market closed right here. And the stock has been trading pretty much on the downside. So it does seem like there is a case, and a case of a short selling that is happening. Now, what happens if the short sell comes closer and closer and closer? And if people don't want to sell the stocks that they own, especially some investors like you and I who believe in the company and probably we want to hold for a long time, what it happens is it creates a hype within the stock and no one wants to sell. And the short sellers will have to cover their position. When they want to cover that position and the market does not have a lot of sellers, the stock price will go up. I'm not saying it will go as high as GME or AMC or any other stocks, but even if it goes to 2 or 3 times from where the stock price is, it could be pretty significant. Looking at the recent numbers as I shared with you on 26th of March, it does seem like a pretty promising number that there is something really really big short interest. People are selling the stocks in short volume. Many people like us are holding that as well. There is a lot more hype. If you take a look at the stock tweets, if you look at Twitter, if you look at Reddit, there's a lot of potential discussion going on, a lot of hype is going on, a lot of speculation is going on. Now, HCMC is a pretty risky stock, so do not invest your entire portfolio. It's not even a penny stock, it's a micro penny stock in my opinion. Highly risky, highly speculative, very much dependent upon what happens to this lawsuit. It's a real company. The company has been following up, making sure that they create enough awareness. It is handling this lawsuit pretty closely as well, and we will be able to see whether there is a settlement, what happens to the company. As I mentioned, if they want to spike the price up to $1, there are a couple of potential options. One of the option is reverse split. That does not seem like a very lucrative option, but one of the better option could be the buyback, as I just mentioned. If they win this lawsuit, if they have more funding, if they have enough cash, it's not out of the question that they will do partial buyback on the stocks, which will spike the stock price up, and that will also create a lower number of stocks available for the investors in the stock market. So thanks guys for watching. I just wanted to share this information. I hope you find some value in this. Click on the like button if you haven't already. Your like is very much appreciated. Click the subscribe button as well for future videos and timely updates. I'll see you in the next video.